Jacob.
And we are going for a drive. 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray.
With launch control. Oh my God.
That is so good.
Love it.
Horsepower and torque.
A combined 655 horsepower, 595 pound-feet of torque from a 6.2-liter V8 hybrid.
Yeah, this is the electric Corvette.
No, it's not. Don't turn off the video. Don't turn off the video. Don't turn off the video.
It's a hybrid
It's
Corvette?
a hybrid. There's a V8 in the back. There's an electric axle in the front. They are not directly connected whatsoever.
They just make the car more badass.
And really good launches.
But we can drive an electric off the start only.
Yeah.
But I got a hack for that. You come to a full stop at a street light. Time me. Turn off
1,
the car.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 approximate seconds. And now you're in stealth mode.
That's the fastest Oh God, I went too high to start the engine.
Okay, but stealth mode, the transition to gas mode is the coolest thing ever. It makes the coolest sounds. Let's take a listen to the outside.
Don't drive too fast. Don't drive too fast. Don't click the engine. Don't get it to the engine.
Back in stealth mode.
All right, here we go. Fully electric for up to, I think, 4 miles. If the temperature is correct, you have enough power stored, you're driving it correctly and everything. But then you have no air.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that already.
Let's listen to the crossover.
Yes, please. Race car stuff, like the
like
Cadillac race car?
Yeah, like a Le Mans car.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, that whole thing is really cool. You can drive it around pretty far, and people are like, whoa, electric Corvette, but nobody actually really cares.
Yeah.
And then this is not a plug-in. It only charges itself on its own.
And the battery is so small that it charges itself so quickly.
Yeah, by the time you do a drag pass, if you come back, it'll be fully charged.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's so good. And the smoothness of driving it, like it fills in the gaps between shifts and everything. When you're on the highway, I think that's where this thing really shines. That's what I've noticed from daily driving it at home. You're going like 110 or whatever hypothetically, and you want to pass, you floor it, everything is so smooth into it, even in touring. And then in touring, you could also get down to V4 mode and be more fuel efficient. It's like pretty perfect of a daily Corvette that you could probably even drive in winter.
And we did previously drive this at the launch event, but that was in Colorado at high elevation. So now we have the true, or at least close to the true horsepower number from the gas motor, because I feel like we were being robbed like at least 50 horsepower. Yeah. And it was still quick, but now it feels even faster.
But here we are being robbed of cool twisty roads, where those twisty roads, this thing absolutely shined. It was like one of the most fun cars I've driven.
Yes, Yuri, just floor it again for me, just one more time. So fast.
And you know what I love more about this after daily driving it?
What's that?
The pumped-in sound.
Yeah, it's nice.
So the pumped-in audio, you know, it's got that electric-y sound when you really get on it.
Yep.
But it's a nice reminder that you're really on it, because that's the only time you hear that electric-y sound. And in the city, you know, you're ripping on the highway, you're like, oh, I'm ripping too much, chill out, or I had a good rip there.
And when you're driving normally, you just have V8, which is perfect.
Well, let's put it in a sport mode. Or track mode.
Yeah. Loudest exhaust mode. Just V8.
And now?
Both.
Perfect.
Yeah. Speaking of perfect, Yuri, look at this shirt that I am wearing. It is the front end of the vehicle that we're actually driving.
So I've been graphic designing these shirts. These are the shirts that I think would be cool.
And it is sideways.
Yeah, they're lay down shirts. That's the only way you could get a full-size thing of the look of the face of cars that we drive. So if you want these, I graphic design them. I'm putting them up on the site. You can see the links right below the video. There'll probably be one for the car that you have or a car that you've watched. You can pick any color you want. If you have a special request, hit me up. I'm the graphic designer.
I'm the model.
This is all us.
Yeah.
We're not available in stores, not available in Zoomies, not available in West 49. Where else is the place? Not Walmart.
No. Target?
No.
Nothing.
So if you like us and support it, you know,
Yeah.
Shout out. And if you don't like us, our logo's not on the shirt, so you can still buy it anyways.
Yeah.
All right, a little turn coming up. And it is on rails, all-wheel drive.
I wouldn't say it's on
Absolutely
rails.
Perfect. This is pretty on, when you're taking it like 6/10.
Yes, it's great.
That's 6/10 on rails. Top 10s, 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 11s, 10s. Not that I don't know if we're ever doing that.
Well, we have driven this previously on track, so I do want to talk about that.
Yeah. You'll get your turn, Mr. Model, lying down in front of the car, looking cool and stuff.
All right, I'll talk about
working
my...
on your side planks.
Yeah, dude, I'll talk about that handling then later, but talk about what you'd like to talk about.
Well, that's pretty much it that
Oh,
I've
okay, all right.
experienced, like
All right.
daily driving, and it was like super comfortable, super quiet, super relaxing. Being able to rip on the highway feels perfect. It's just like such good all around with all-wheel drive. It would probably be great in winter. Like, if I could afford to buy a cool car for my dad, I would buy him this.
You could. You just have to stop spending money on X-Men cards and figures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm addicted to thrifting.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I do Deadpool costumes on my Yuri Retro. So
So if you stop doing that, you could definitely buy this for your dad. Yuri's dad, just so you know, if you stop doing that,
nah.
look at that face, he knows.
He wants a Cobra, but I can't buy him a Cobra.
Just get him this
They're
and
too
put white
sketchy.
stripes on it and put a Ford badge on it.
Yeah.
Upset everyone.
I actually just want to hear more of what you have to say daily driving this on our local roads. So it's your turn.
I get to hop in the driver's seat. 495 horsepower behind me, 160 horsepower is in front of me.
Oh, that gripped way better.
Yeah. Okay, so 0 to 60 is like 2.5 seconds in this.
So good.
Quarter mile is like 10.5 seconds, and you could just do this all day because it's extremely repeatable, unlike a Z06. Even though the Z06 is also really good with the performance tractions and all that stuff, it's not all-wheel drive.
Rear wheel drive is way different. And then you had sport traction.
Performance traction, yeah.
And that gripped off the line and just gone, where I was in a race too, so it was like, whoa!
And race allows for more slip. I'm also on a better surface, so I judged it correctly, which is great. So this thing is super fun to drive, as you were saying. The suspension, the damping is really good. It is a little bit stiff right now, but I can dial that all right down with the Z mode, which is your custom mode, and it takes out all those little imperfections and everything. It smooths it right out. So
But the only negative about putting it to soft suspension is then you can't have your performance tractions.
yes, exactly, which also makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Because they had to work really hard to tune the front and back to work together with the electric motors and stuff, so.
I don't love this new infotainment because it is Google. I preferred the old, when the C8 launched, I preferred that one over this one, but I don't have a choice, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you still got CarPlay, just stick to that. And I like the animations, they're really neat.
The thing I don't like about the infotainment is having to customize your drive modes and all that. Like, if you live in CarPlay, it's fine, but if you start getting to your performance tractions, your drive modes as well, it's a little bit confusing. Not confusing, just a little bit more difficult than it was.
Nah, I'm pretty used to it. It's a chill learning curve.
Listen, bub.
the only learning curve that's hard is coming to a red light and trying to get into stealth mode, because I think that's fun to be fully electric. And I want you to test that out and see how fast you can do it.
I'll test it out a little bit later. The thing that I find to be difficult is not burying my foot into the throttle every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's so fast and it sounds so good. I love the tone of both of those.
So half bury it so you don't get any of the. Fine. Not in trouble.
Trouble.
That's the trouble set.
Yeah, but this 8-speed. Okay, I do know that some people have been complaining about this in some of the Corvettes. I honestly really like this transmission. It shifts so quickly. If I was to put this into manual right now, just listen to the shifts, everybody that's watching this video. That is so fast.
That is fast.
Downshifts. Every single one when I wanted it.
Have you noticed that this kind of feels like it's better to just drive an automatic?
Okay, I
Right.
partially agree with you because the red line's quite low in comparison to a Z06. It's not a flat plane crank engine, doesn't rev to 8,400 or whatever it does. And so because of how fast it is compared to a regular base Corvette that has the same engine, that red line comes really quick, and I found myself hitting that red line more often than I thought I would. So leaving this in auto is kind of better.
But this is like a grand tour
It is.
of the Corvette lineup. Like, this competes with the 911 Turbo.
Yeah, a
which is
very
also
good
all-wheel
competitor
drive.
to the Turbo S, yeah.
And like, you know, like I was old manning it. I'm getting old. I'm chilling,
Yo, I have a C6 Z06.
Does your C6 Z06 show up on tsp.truecar.com?
I'm sure it would because it's a 2006 model year.
How about E-Rays?
I'm sure they would because they're 2024 model years.
How about ZR1s?
Not yet. Hopefully we get to drive one of those maybe early next year.
Get your Corvette on tsp.truecar.com.
And get your shirts on our own website.
Whatever it is below.
It's not our own website. It's another website that does drop.
I'm trying my best.
So I'm going to put this into, I guess, well, I'm going to use Z mode rather than track mode because I can then customize it.
Yeah, everything's customized and staying up there.
Yeah, and I really like that. So I'm going to do some handling with this Magna Ride suspension, and it is really nice. The steering is nice and heavily weighted. I can also dial that down without it affecting other settings. There we go, which is really nice to be able to do that. And the thing that I have an issue with, not on these types of roads, because these are like nice, big, long sweepers, but when you get into like hairpin situations or tighter stuff, I do notice understeer, which I also remember noticing on the racetrack. This car is kind of strange to drive because of the E-axle, and the thing that you have to do is power through to combat the understeer, but on a public road, I am not going to power through understeer.
Power through here, let's go.
Okay. I'm not going to get understeer here.
It's not hairpinning enough.
Exactly.
Well,
so,
on track, I really remember noticing that, and we didn't have traction all the way off when we were doing that.
I don't think it would have affected
I think it would have solved it because then you could like power the back out through it.
But I don't think it would be truly off because we do have that E-motor up front. So like whenever you have hybridization of any sort, I feel like it's never truly off. Although we did do the craziest
big donuts.
the big donuts until I popped the tire. So like that was super fun to be able to do. But that was also the rear. I don't know.
Yeah, that felt awkward too because it was like straight. You were doing it the proper way.
I killed it. Yeah.
And then I was trying to just make as much smoke and stay in it.
Yes.
Which I did. And it was just, but then you had to have like the biggest ovals ever.
Yes, which I did, and I killed it, which was fun because I actually got to pop a set of tires. Yuri, speaking of tires, what is the Continental recommended tire?
The Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus.
Because it's an all-season tire, and this is an all-season car. And Corvette did tell us, the guys told us, like, this is really a 3-season car. They expect customers to drive this, early spring, earlier than you'd take out your Z06, and into late fall, later than you'd drive your Z06.
Yeah, no, I special requested this come up from Detroit, and I am going to have them have it for me in winter with winter tires. I want to prove to everyone that with money, anything is possible.
Yes, and a set of Viking Contact 7s, perhaps?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah. What do you think of these wheels, though? Let's talk about the looks a little bit.
Wheels are nice, but I think they would look better if they were the polished instead of black.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Maybe chrome as well. Although these are
do they
forged.
have chrome in these, or
they have the full
super
polish.
satin. Okay, yeah.
But we do have carbon ceramic brakes, which are standard as well.
Yes, because it can go so fast, it needs to stop so quickly. But the looks of this, I love all the color matchness of it.
Yep.
It looks great, matches your shirt perfectly.
That's right, rapid blue.
Everything about the looks, I like how the triangle things at the back are also color matched.
Which also looks like a salmon.
Yeah.
From that meme, if we can find that meme again.
With the gas cap.
Yeah.
And then you can't color match on the ZR1.
Yes.
But this you can, and I think it actually looks better color match. But I would, if I own one of these, color match the bottom rear spoiler, whatever. What's that called?
Air diffuser. Yeah. You go full boomer spec and
not full.
Well, that's pretty boomer.
I would increase.
If you're paint matching the non-paint match panels, that's boomer stuff.
I feel like that's the last thing that needs a paint match.
I would like to see it.
I'm not going to paint match the exhaust tips.
You should.
Let's listen to it
from the outside.
My favorite sound from the outside is when you're in full electric mode. And it's just in reverse. It's extra hummy. Like they went overboard with making it sound electric.
Yeah, like that's what I love about this. It's like this Tron thing where it's like.
So that mode is meant for like getting out of your house quietly in the morning.
Yeah.
I tried that and it was like not available. You couldn't do stealth mode in every situation. Sometimes it just won't let you if the heating or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had to put it in shuttle mode, drive it around the corner, then power cycle it again, and then I could get it into stealth mode.
So let me see if I can get this into stealth mode at this red light now.
Panic.
Oh, these carbon ceramis. Okay, park, car off, door open, close, foot on the brake. Don't start that. Stealth, start it. It worked. Okay.
So the way you could have sped that up is by not putting the car in park before shutting it off.
Right, okay. Oh, wow, My foot has buried the throttle by being slightly more than like 5% into it.
Yeah, you really need to be careful, especially
I
at
got
the
a
start,
lead foot.
to make sure you don't pass it. And then there's like a bar that like if you cross that threshold.
Yeah, I didn't even look. I literally gave it like just enough throttle to make a safe exit.
It's a fun gimmick.
Yes.
I like it.
It is
probably
cool.
cooler than the NSXs that like automatically slows down.
And by the way, that battery, because it's so small, is actually located in this center tunnel just below this console area, because we did see it in a cutaway. And now that we've seen the ZR1, there's the rumor of the Zora, which is going to be above the ZR1, which is supposedly going to combine this hybrid front e-axle with the ZR1's twin-turbo flat-plane crank engine. So we may end up with a 1,300 horsepower Corvette all-wheel drive thing.
Okay, but you were saying that Taj said that this is going to be, the ZR1 is going to be the most expensive Corvette.
But Taj is now retired.
Okay, here's my theory then. What if the Zora is just a Corvette with a manual? I don't know anything about the Zora guy, but did he like manuals?
I'm sure he did, but I don't think that will be a thing.
How can the next Corvette be less expensive than the ZR1 if it has more power? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm not aware of a 12 or 1,300 horsepower manual outside of like Koenigsegg.
No, it's like C8 base, but with a manual. That's the Zora.
Oh, so it's like a base model.
But with a manual.
I don't think so.
That would be cool.
It
I'd
would
rather
be.
have that.
That would be cool.
I don't need 1,300 horsepower.
Okay, back to some standard tests. Visor test.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Yes!
it passed. I actually forgot that it would do that. Yes.
It does it every one of them. We forget every time. Cup holders, they fit a small cup for me today, fine.
No problem.
So shout out to that.
Speaking of something else that's in this area but is not related to any of that, we do have this charge button. So, charge is how you get the, I guess, not the most power, but the most consistent power. So this would be for like a lapping down a racetrack. And if you just want to charge up your battery as fast as possible, it is literally going ridiculously fast. We're at 97, 98, 99,
Even if you're
100.
parked, it'll charge it up quick.
Yeah, so then if you just turn that off, I've been driving with it off, that's how you get maximum power.
Yes, when you're doing lapping days, if you need to set that qualifying time, turn that off, boom, and then whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, another thing we forgot to mention, brake pedal, nothing weird. Everything feels great.
Yeah, very
How cool is
natural.
that? How cool is that?
And this still being a coupe Corvette, this actually just comes right off.
And you can also buy this in a convertible.
Yeah, but you don't even need to with this.
I know. It's fantastic.
I honestly wish I had this in my C6 Z06.
Yeah.
There is an aftermarket retrofit kit, but I don't want to go. No.
Don't do it. Man, this just like they just nailed every especially having it at home living with it. It just makes it even better.
Yes, and we did already previously supercar checklist this, so watch our original video if you want to see all that. But the engine is in the back; it's a mid-engine.
Do you like this blue and white spec? Like I
This
don't
is
like
great.
blue cars, but I do like blue and white spec.
I'm glad that they didn't make all this white to reflect onto the windshield.
These things reflect pretty hard sometimes,
Yeah.
but like it's overall like really nice.
It's great. Gauge cluster is great.
Shelby spec.
Carbon fiber on the steering wheel, D-shaped. It's great.
So D-shape, I noticed that it's harder for me to steer.
Squircle.
Squircle, it's harder for me to steer with my knee.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then also trunk. I removed the front plate because I think it's ugly.
Yes.
So I will put it back now. And yeah, like just, man.
And we got heated seats, cooled seats, this whole center stack. Apparently they're refreshing the Corvettes, and apparently this might disappear. I've been seeing rumors of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it being gone.
Yeah. So we'll see. But this so far is kind of functional, so it's like it's fine.
Seeing the engine every time we pop the trunk still doesn't get old. Like that's the one thing where I'd need like this over a convertible.
Yeah, and then we can also just switch the rear view mirror to be a camera to see out the back. So like functionally, everything about this is great.
All right, I think that's everything.
I think so too, Yuri.
Is there anything you hate about it?
No.
Is there anything you dislike more now that we have it here?
No, I actually love this almost equally with the Z06. Maybe even more in some situations, which is insane to say.
I get what you're saying, especially with the ZR1 existing. The Z06, like, is that irrelevant? I don't know. Obviously not, but is it? I don't know. Let's get to the price.
It starts at $150,327
Canadian.
and this one is spec'd out to $158,949.
So obviously you can't just walk into a dealership and grab one. There's probably a whole waiting list. But if you are able to, like, this is sweet.
Yeah, if you can get on a list to get one of these, I would recommend it.
If it's this over Z06, like, I understand that.
And here's the thing, I'm not the biggest fan of hybrids just because the batteries are really expensive and all just complications. But because this is like completely separate from the gas motor, I feel like they future-proofed it more than a hybrid that would be combined with the motor and the transmission and complex. This to me is simple.
and it's GM, it's not McLaren. So like compared to like replacing a P1 battery, as we've seen on Tavares' channel, like,
Yes.
this might be a thing that like is probably future proof.
And the fact that the battery is so small, I feel like it would be cheap to replace as well, considering a real big hybrid battery, or sorry, an EV battery is like 50,000. If you get into hybrid batteries, they might be like 10,000. This one being a really, really small one, I'm just gonna say maybe 5,000, which is like not the worst, right?
It's gonna be more than that. Come on.
I don't like. I'm
GM?
talking in like 10 years
GM.
when it's like a used car. It's GM. It can't be more than that. Hopefully.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Buy a shirt if you want. Put a request for a shirt if you want below. And I hope you enjoy being sideways with it. The lie down shirt.
Let's get sideways. You're in this ditch.
Do not say that. Do not say that with me in the passenger seat, please.